Hello, Hobo Nation. Hope everybody's doing okay this week. Hope everyone had a great weekend. Stayed cool where you can, how you can. It's been miserable here. Hope everybody's doing really well. Good morning from Japan. Hello. Hey, man. Good morning in Japan. Didn't realize that's where you were at right now. I'm guessing that's temporary. Oh, or are you stationed there now? Oh my, yeehaw! So tonight we're going to look at this little guy right here. Short trip, very good. I seen something this week. I seen a whole lot of something this week on Facebook. But I seen one this week that caught my eye, and I said, hey, that's kind of cute. And I was like, that's easy to do. And so I'm going to do my take on that. I don't even know whose post it was, or it was an advertisement. Somebody wanting to sell you designs. And it was much, much smaller than that. It was actually, they were doing them as like little fridge magnets. And I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. I said, but I can see how that works. I can do that. I don't need to buy that. I can do that. So that's what we're going to look at tonight, is how you can take a simple SVG, just a simple line drawing, and how you can use the tools in LightBurn with a little bit of forethought and be able to create a multi-layer presentation from a single SVG. And I got this SVG. I didn't draw this little gorilla. I got it from Cuddle off of their website, but they using it for something completely different. But I was like, you know what? I can work with that SVG to make my multi-layered piece. But as we're waiting for some of the late bloomers to get here, let's turn the comments on for everybody. Comments. There you go. He's so stinking adorable. Well, thank you. I ain't even had a shower today, but thank you. Oh, you mean the gorilla? Okay, sorry. But I haven't even showed you the best part yet. He's got a trick up his sleeve. This week. This has been a very productive week. Sunday. I didn't do much of nothing. I try not to do much of nothing on Sundays. But Monday and Tuesday, I spent both better parts of those days in a professional recording studio. After being up getting up at 1 o'clock in the morning and starting recording at 2 and 2:30 and trying to beat the ambient sounds and the road noise of the cars, it wasn't worth it. So I've gone to a professional recording studio, and last Monday and Tuesday I have recorded the first half of the book. And this particular it's the Wave Lab. If you're anywhere in the greater Charlotte metropolitan area in Northwest South Carolina and you need any kind of recording work done for audiobooks or even special compositions, you need some music, go check out the Wave Lab. They're pretty good. But that's where I'm going. I'm going down and laying down all the chapters of the book, and he's going to completely publish the entire thing. He'll take the recordings and hand me over an audiobook. Yay! Taking half the load, no, a large 70% of the workload off of me. I just got to sit down and record it. And for anyone who wants to get the audiobook, you'll be extremely thankful, because he is a professional. Monday, I don't know what I had. I had mostly a liquid breakfast, and my stomach just bubble, 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 gurgle, gurgle, gurgle. And you could hear it throughout the recording. It was ridiculous. I'm in a recording booth, so it's isolated. And I've got headphones on, and then I can still hear it. And it's like, okay, cut. Let's do it again. So, but he's going to be able to filter and get rid of all that, so you won't have to listen to bubble guts. There wasn't bubble guts; it was just stomach gurgling. But anyway, that was Monday and Tuesday for the better half of the day. And then I had to come back here, of course, for obligations with make sure Dad's taken care of. Same thing this week. I got Monday and Tuesday. We'll finish up those that recording of the book. I have finished the digital book, the ebook. The ebook is done. The audio book will be done recording will be done come Tuesday. He will have me a finished piece before the 1st of July. And I'm waiting for, I've already got one version here. This is a matte finish, and I don't like it. It's very chalky, and it shows the oil. And I was advised that the glossy books would show your fingerprints, but this is as bad or worse. So I've got a glossy cover coming to take a look and see which one I like better, and then I'll actually place the order for the books. So the book's done, ebook's done, audiobook will be finished recording Tuesday. This has been an incredible journey. If none of you read this book, I'm a better person for having written it. Because this has been such an experience. And I started this on April 1st, just 2 months ago. And to go on this journey from the idea of putting it in paper has been eye-opening, educational, and therapeutic. And I came to some really I really became self-aware of a lot of things that I maybe had I recognized, but I hadn't fully embraced. It's a good read. It really is. And the last 2 chapters, don't buy the book and read the last 2 chapters. You need to read the whole book, but the last 2 chapters are where, surprising myself. But there's 2 really integral people in this book. One of which I haven't spoken to since 1986. 1986 was the last time I had spoken a single word to this person. And they're in the book, and they play a large role in the book. And I felt like I needed to reach out to them and say, hey, look, I got a book coming out. You're in it. And I would love to give you the opportunity to see it before it comes out in print. So if you take to any objections to anything that's said or done, I can, roll it back. I reached out to that person 2 days ago and was shocked to get almost an immediate response. I only had 3 possible phone numbers that I found on Google, of all places, and sent out a blind text to those 3 numbers. And one of them hit back, said, Steve Fortner? Yep, that's me. And that led to a really interesting and long conversation. And it was a good day. It was a good day. So anyway, we're going to do talk about this little monkey, this little gorilla. And I hope, and I've got, oh yeah, and I've got a surprise for all of the gold members, either recent golds or the old patron grandfather golds. Any gold member, I'm going to send you the ebook for free. All gold members are going to get a free ebook, and I'll probably send it out around the first of the month, 1st of July. So if you're a gold member, you want to make sure that your email is what is correct email signed up on when you log in. When you log into hobowithwood.com, make sure you have an accurate email that you're checking regularly, because all gold members will be getting a free ebook. And I've never looked at an ebook until I started putting this together. I've never looked at Kindle or any of those e-readers. Those are kind of cool. It's especially if you don't like the idea of flipping through the pages. Now, my high school English teacher, who I had proofed this, she told me just the opposite. She wanted a physical book. She wanted paper. She didn't like the e-readers. So, if you like ebooks, all gold members will be getting the ebook for free. So that's a way I can say thank you, especially for the last 2 months where I have been a little bit lackadaisical in the laser world, because this project has dominated. And but I do feel like it's been, it's definitely been worth it to me. And I do believe that anybody that reads it might find some possible similarities or some self-realizations by the time they get to the end of it, even though it's about my life, my story, the conclusions I get to, and hopefully it'll ring true to a bunch of people. But anyway, so this little guy has a surprise. He can swing his arms back and forth. He can get angry at you. He's Donkey Kong. And the magnets, and I put a kickstand on this one, so just using the kickstand we did last week or week before, just so I could have it up here for show and tell. But you could shrink these things down, and like the one I seen on Facebook, they just put a magnet on it and put it on the refrigerator door, and every time the thing opened up the refrigerator door, they swinging his arms back and forth. Oh. So let's see here. Let me look at the comments, and then we're going to jump into questions and comments, and then we'll look at LightBurn and look at this here. Looking. Oh. And here we go. What's the question mark? What are you going to do with all the free time now? What free time, brother? I ain't cut my grass. I actually had to pay somebody to come and cut my grass because I ain't had time to cut the grass. I've been stuck right here. Not doing lasers, but I've been right here. It's I forget how many words, but it's 42 chapters, 202 pages. And it's gone through, both the book and myself have gone through some pretty major overhauling. Aqueous coated printing. That sounds like it sucks up water, and that's what it seems. It's very chalky. I don't like it, but I think I'm gonna like the glossy better. Let's see here. Hey, listen, you guys are all saying thank. No, I can't thank you, boys and girls, enough. I cannot thank you enough for your blessings on me to allow me to be able to do this and to do that. So, you know, it is the absolute least that I can do for my gold members. Well, Bob, yeah, now the audiobook is tough. You know, there's some chapters it's hard to get through, and hearing it from me, it's a whole new. I mean, that's a different level than just having AI read it. You know, it's a whole lot more genuine because it's real. Chris, you could take it one step further and have arms raised outward. Yes. Yep. Oh, the glossy is the aqueous. Well, this one right here, I'd say it's aqueous because it soaks up anything that gets near it. But it's the other one. I just say glossy print. So we'll see. All right, and just for giggles, if anybody sees Lyle pop up in the comments tonight, Lyle had contacted me earlier today, but while I was still in the process of getting this one designed, developed, and taking care of Pop and everything else, and I sold a truck today. Finally, had a truck sitting out in the parking lot, the one that the engine blew up on. I said parking lot; it's out in my front yard. So, Ed, when you go by on the work, you'll see my yard starting to clean up a little bit. But I had so much going on today. But Lyle downloaded the latest versions of LightBurn, and now his laser is going. So I told him first thing to do was to go back and make sure he loaded his preferences. He already rolled it back. I think he said to 1.7. And I showed him, sent him a link on how to load his preferences back up and see if that got it working. I haven't heard back from him. I told him if it didn't work, jump in the stream tonight and say, hey, help me. And between me and you and you and you, we'll probably get it figured out. All right. Go all out and get the leather bound copy, you know? Yeah, no. Maybe, you know, I'm already 25% through volume 2. This one is it'll be better tomorrow. And I'm telling you, it'll be better tomorrow. The last 2 chapters, but the second book is How I Became a Hobo. And because it picks up and will start where this leaves off, and this leaves off with just before purchasing the lasers and starting this journey. I've recreated myself a dozen times in this book, and How I Became a Hobo will be a dozen more rebirths. All right. Lost all your camera settings. You know, they did a bunch of work for the camera part in LightBurn, and I'll bet you I hope, have you rolled back your preferences and seen it, loaded your old preferences and see if it cleared up everything for you? Yeah, and see, Chris says if you save the camera setting from before the update, sometimes you can reload that to recover your camera functionality. Yeah. I'll bet for $5,000 Hobo would come to your house and read it for you. That is the platinum membership you are referring to, sir. And that would be a that'd be a long read, brother, to do that in one setting. I have had folks sit down and read it. They sat down to read it and read it straight through. He told me he was up till about 1 a.m. because it's anecdotal. You know, each chapter is its own story, but you're gonna be shocked at how many times you're back and forth. But I think he told me he read it straight through. Probably, what would that been? 7 or 8 hours, maybe. I don't know how long. But he said he's up to 1 a.m. reading it and got through with it. But for $5,000, I'll come to your house and fix you dinner, and we'll read half of it, and then I'll come back the next month and fix you dinner and read the other half of it. All right. So I beat you to it, Terry. Marked it. Now I'm going to jump over here to LightBurn, and I'm going to import the SVG that I got from Cuddle. Now, weirdly enough, I have updated to 2.1.01 in LightBurn, and I was using Cuddle before, but I can't use Cuddle now. When I click on it, when I click on Web Tools, it grays out LightBurn like it's going to bring up that browser for Cuddle, and nothing happens. But I can go directly to cuddle.xyz or whatever it is, and I can log right in, and I'm good. But anyway, I got this particular art file from Cuddle. It is not mine. So let's go over to LightBurn and import my DIY zoo coloring or zoo animal coloring kit. Open. So a bunch of cute little animals. And I said, all right, I seen that gorilla, and I said, okay, that's the perfect image for having the swinging arms. And I said, that's the one I want. And these are all really cute little fellas, but I want the gorilla. So we're going to ungroup, and we are going to mass murder everything that we don't want. All right, now we have just the gorilla. Now he is on 3 different layers. He's on the black, blue, and red layer. I've got a tool layer open somewhere. And let's see. There you go. There's some field mode. Let's put this in line mode. There we go. So this is just a simple SVG. And when I first started looking at that artwork, I was like, okay, I can do the body, then have the arms. There's 2 layers, and then the head with the facial features engraved on it. So I said, okay, I can do this in 3 layers. Really easy, really simple, piece of cake. And then as I developed the body and then the arms, and then I started looking at the head, and I said, all right, I can see 3 layers, but I can also see bringing the face on up and the mouth on up. And I ended up making it 5 layers. So that extra dimension just, it makes it a little bit more realistic. I having the extra layers there. Sounds like Windows is not bringing Cuddle to the front. Actually, I went around looking everywhere, Chris. It's not there. I looked to see if it was in the background. I looked to see if it was on another screen. I closed everything. I minimized everything, closed everything, and it will not open. It grays LightBurn out, but Cuddle will not open. And we'll look at that once we get through with this. Because I've got stuff on the screen right now, and if I hit Cuddle or hit the web tools, It's going to gray everything out, and I'll have to close window or close LightBurn, and I don't want to do that right now. The nose would be 6. Yeah, if you wanted to bring the nose on out, even the nostrils, and make it a little another one. Just a matter of how much work do you want to put into it. But you could do it with just 3 layers: the head, the arms, and the body. But just in case you have never done these before, or you've often wondered, well, how can I do those? We're going to do a quick demo we'll look at three layers right now and see how that works out. Let's go back over here. All right. So what I want to do is what? We're going to duplicate it and set it to the side because I want to keep an original while I'm working. So if I goof up and I won't need to, I can either grab it or start over. So I want to look at where I'm going to build it head down, top down. So I've got to figure out first that line right. Well, let's ungroup it. There we go. Still ungroup again. There we go. There, that line, that lower beard, the lower jaw line, that's an engraving right now, but I need to make that the outermost perimeter for the cut for the head. And I'm going to leave those as engravings. In fact, you could do a couple of, a lot of this is artistic interpretation. What do you see? What do you want to keep? And as you're designing it, you may go down an entirely different path as you're putting it together. You're like, oh, okay, wait a minute, I can do that. But first, I'm going to grab that. I'm going to put it on the cut layer. It's on the red layer. And I'm going to come over here to this outer perimeter. And right there on that ear, right where it curves out again, I'm going to grab that node and I'm going to break it with the letter B. Now that it's broke, there's 2 broke nodes right there. One is the continuation of this curve, and the other one is continuation of that curve. And to find out which one's which, you can start moving them around, or if you just hover over that and hit the letter E for extend, one of them is going to jump away. That's not the one we want. This is the one I want. Oh, but that didn't break apart there. Let's B for break. There we go. I don't know why it did it that way, but let's delete that and let's break this again. B for break and E for extend. Out. That's weird. I don't remember it doing that to me earlier today, but I guess it did. B for break. B for break. There we go. So there's the one I want. It's going to come down here to there, and it can't connect to the blue because it's not the same layer, but I don't need that. I don't need that around there. And over here, I need to do the same thing. Let's see if this one gives me as much trouble. B for break. And E for extend. There's what I was looking for it to do. Is that going to, yeah, see, that's separate now. That's what it's supposed to do over yonder. I don't know why it kept reattaching. But now I can come back over here. And if I select that line, it's everything below it I don't need. I can hit delete and get rid of it. There's the head. I don't need any of this stuff. So there's the beginning of the head, but I need to clean it up a little bit, join some stuff together. So I'm going to select that line, put it on the red layer, go to the node editing tool, and hover over that node and just hit the letter E. and that's going to extend that curve on out to where it comes into contact. Here, grab that node and connect it. Come up here. Wait, if you're in node editing, you can't select the line like that, but if you get right on the line, you can click it to select it. You got to be right on it though, like that. And I want this one. And I don't need any of these nodes right here. I'm going to come down right here and I'm going to put the letter I for insert. And I put me a node right there. I'm going to select that node and D for delete. And then just delete every one of these. Select them all and hit letter D, delete, done. And snap it. Come on. There you go. D for delete. And snap it. There you go. There's the first layer. If I wanted to do these as engravings instead of doing additional layers. But there's layer one. Group it. Pull it up here out the way. Let's see if there's anybody questions or problems or suggestions or do. Jack's lurking in the background. Yeah, I wonder about others lurking that never have the nerve to announce themselves, though. All right. So, see how easy that was? That was not difficult at all. Not difficult at all. There's one quick layer for the head. Now for the arms. Oh, hit it twice. Let's go back there. I'm going to duplicate my little gorilla. Bring them over here. Keep my original. Now, I need to keep this. So we need to ungroup it all. I need to keep this on a toolpath so I know where my head extends to. This is going to need to be on a cut path. That's going to need to be on a cut path. And I messed it up. There we go. And those will be a cut path as well, but I got to do some more work to them. All right. So if my head layer comes all the way down to this, select that line, go to your node editing tool and hover over your end and just hit the letter E for extend. And it's just going to jump all the way up to where it intersects with the next piece. Grab this one over here and do the same thing. Hit the letter E for extend. Boom, done. All right. Now you've gone all the way to your head, but now you need to make that. In fact, we need to come over here to where the ears, where we separated them earlier. And let's see if we can get this to cooperate this time. B for break. Yeah. All right. So yeah, it's going to do it. All right. We're going to get rid of that. And here, I'm going to hit the letter E for extend. Take that on into the head. Come over here. B for break. E for extend. Extend. I hit it twice. Hit the letter E twice. And go back and show you that again. So they're joined. And I hit the letter B for break. And then while I'm hovering right over it, just hit the letter E. And it'll extend one and then the other if you hit it the second time. And that's the one we want to keep. So this, I can just drag up here and get rid of this one down here too. So you, got the wrong one. Put you back. There you go. Then what I do is I don't need any of this because that's all on the head. We're going to go back to our selector tool so I can select that way. We're going to get rid of all this. D for delete. Get rid of all that. Now, in fact, I don't need that or that. I'm going to keep my toolpath so I know where my head's at. I don't need that. Now I'm going to come up here to the top and grab me a toolpath, a guideline, and see which one it intersects with first. And it's this one here. So I'm going to come to right there. Then I'm going to take this, select with the nodes, and extend that on up to that guideline. E to extend. Now that is going all the way up to the same height as that. And I'm going to get my pencil tool and I will draw a line from there to there. Then I've got to connect here and here behind the head as well. So I'm going to draw another line, or draw another guideline down to that one because it intersects with that one, obviously, before it does this one. So I'm going to select this guy, go to node editing, and hit the letter E for extend. That popped it up to there. Now these are at the same point. I can now take my pencil tool and draw a straight line from there to there. They didn't quite pop and connect. That's okay. Let's get rid of our guidelines. Grab our nodes and make those snap together. Well, let's turn you off. There's one. Two. And up here. All right. Do 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 do. All right. So now I've got that's going to have to break because there's his legs. That's on the body. And down here. So I've got to come over here and node editing. We'll just bring that up there. Node editing on the red. B for break. B for break. And extend. E for extend. D for delete. And that's going to come to there. This one's a little bit more fun. In fact, I don't need any of that. Pop on nodes. B for break. D for delete. And I'm just going to get rid of this one. And this one for now. Put those, did I break that? Yep. I don't need any of that. So I can go bye-bye. Selector tool. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I needed those. I needed that part of his foot. So go back to node editing. B for break right there. There. Oh. And B for break. Now I got a question for y'all. How many have you've watched me do these for a while now, working with different designs and playing with nodes and picking my nodes. How many of you have embraced this node editing? How many of you have gotten much more comfortable with getting in there and breaking them, stretching them, curving them, twisting them, breaking them, joining them? Are you doing any of that yourself? All right, now I can grab all of that and put all of that on the red layer. And if actually you can spend all day node editing because it's tedious, or because you really just enjoy your working in nodes? I enjoy it. Doing it good. And Carl says, I've been doing it for years. Excellent. I think I have a long way to go to feel competent, though. It comes with practice. The more you do it, the more comfortable you get, and you always got the undo button. You're breaking nodes, but you ain't breaking your file. Excellent. So you hate the break function? It can be, well, I tell you what, I'm curious, Jesse, what is it that aggravates you most about it? What I used to, before I jump back in here, I hated the break function too, because when you break it, you've got two nodes now that are stacked on top of one another. And you only want one, but you don't know which one it is that you're clicking on when you click on one. Do the BE, do the breaking and entering. Do a B&E, but it's break and extend. And if you do the break and extend, it's going to extend the one you want or the one you don't. And then, it separates them for you right there. And a lot of times, like what I'm doing here with this design, I'm wanting to break it because I need to extend one of them in a given direction. So if I do a B and E, I got a 50-50 chance that it's going to send the one that I want in the direction I want it to go in. So the breaking can be aggravating, but try doing a B and E. Try doing a B and E and see if that doesn't make it a little bit less aggravating. Yeah, good. And everybody's saying, yeah, they're doing it. That's why I do this. That's what, what we're doing tonight is, I'm wanting to show you how easy it is. You do not have to go to Etsy and buy a file that somebody generated off of an AI that don't work in LightBurn. You can take a little bit of time, and this guy right here, I didn't start developing him from this file until about Oh, let's see. They came and picked up the truck at about 2:30. So between 2:30 and I went to get Ded's dinner at see, that was 6. So in about 3 hours, I developed and had a finished working prototype. So it's not difficult to do. It really isn't. And the more you embrace it, the more you wrap your arms around all the tools in LightBurn and realize that when something don't work, Control Z, or go into the undo history now, and you can go back 10 steps right away. Let's see here. I'm running a project on my 3D printer. It will take 8.5 hours. Yeah, see, I just don't have patience for that. The reason I don't have the patience for that is I can see being 8.5 hours in, and then 7.5 hours in on an 8-hour job, and it screws up. And I'm going to run that thing out in the middle of the road, and I'm going to run over it and run over it and run over the machine, not the mess up. I don't have the patience for that. What is Control Z for? Control Z is undo. Control Z undo is a keyboard shortcut for undo. Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, or the undo. I've learned the hard way to duplicate and save. Yes, sir, Bob. You see me here. I'm not working with. I duplicate and pull over and start making edits. Keep your original. Don't. And then if you make a bunch of changes and you get that the way you want it, you know what? You might duplicate that and set it to the side and then start working, continue. That way you don't, mess up, not a bad idea to actually just name it and save it periodically. And then also LightBurn auto saves your file for you too. And the autosave in LightBurn has saved me so many times it ain't even funny. But it's a whole lot easier to find if you will name your file and save your file before you even get too far down the journey. You know this is going to be my swinging gorilla. Bring in that SVG, save it, swinging gorilla. And then as you progress, LightBurn is automatically saving it in your where you told it to save it, under the name you told it to save it in. LightBurn's saving it, and you set that interval in the settings in LightBurn. It can save your butt. I know. I never know which node I will get when I click on it. Also, break usually is followed by a join, which also gives me, join. Join can be a pain in the butt. Zoom in close. Like you've seen me doing here. Sometimes it wants to snap together pretty easy, and sometimes it just don't want to snap no matter what. And that's when I'll use the Alt join, the Alt J. And if you get one that just will not snap together, try doing the Alt J or the join. And I think you'll find it in the edit menu. Alt J for join. Yes, it could. Yes, it could. All right. It is not hard. I spend way more time than I should removing all the unnecessary nodes in a design. You don't have to do that, man. You don't have to do all that. You don't have to do all that. I know why you're doing it, but LightBurn will do it for you. LightBurn will get rid of all them. The optimization tool. Have you not looked at that? Have you not used it? The optimization tool will get will clean up all those unnecessary nodes. And I know that the less nodes you send to the laser, the less information. It's better. But LightBurn it does not get rid of all of them. No, not all of them, because you need some of them. But if you've got 40 nodes making a little arc, it can turn it down to 3 or 4. All right, so let's get back over here to the arms. Let's see what's when Saving files, I add whip to file name. Yeah. Yep. All right. Let's see. Go away. All right. Now, optimization mode, have not used it yet. I've done a couple of, and we'll look at that maybe here and with this file when we get to it. Yeah, we'll look at that. We'll look at that whenever I get this finished up here. Let me join his arms up, and then we'll go look at the see how many nodes are in this, because this is an SVG that I brought in from Cuddle, and there's liable to be a tremendous amount of nodes that we don't need. So let's hide that and go back over here. All right. Nodes. Snap. And this guy, I'm going to bring it down here. And this one to here. And where is this one? B for break. And I'm going to hover, stay right on and extend. So there's the one that I wanted. This one is the one I don't want. So I can move it out of the way. And then I'll just drag that back up there. Oh, I didn't have to put one in there. D for delete. There we go. And connect it. All right. Let's see. Do. Nodes. All right. We about got this ready to go. Now I'm going to try something. Holding that and holding shift to select that and see if Alt J will work for me here. Alt J join. And it did. I got one object. See, I've got, and see, that's another thing here. I wanted to show you there. I had two objects and I tried snapping it, it wasn't wanting to snap. So when those nodes are aggravating you like that, you know you got them right there. If you look down at the bottom of the screen, I'm gonna hit dadgummit sensitive. Control Z, undo. All right, right there is one object. And it tells me right down here at the bottom of the screen, one object. And if I come over here and holding shift and select that, I got two objects. And Alt J, or is it in edit? Yep. Auto join selected shapes. And now you look, one object. You don't have to wonder, did it join it or not? Because it'll go from two objects to one object. Now let's see if we can, we got one object there. I need to connect it to this one. So now I got two objects, hold this one. Now I got three objects, Alt J. Now I got one object. So I was able to select all three of those and auto join them together. And I got one piece now. And if we zoom out, we can see we got every bit of that. And I need to put this one on the blue layer. All right, now those little lines of engraving, will they show up if you mark that? Yes. Are they going to be very prominent? No. And I want to see those. I want to see the knuckles and the fingers and the hairline. So I'm going to select all of those blue layers, all those blue lines, and I'm going to come over here to my offset tool. And if I zoom in, you can see I'm going to do round, and we'll do a 0.08. Yeah, that works. Delete the original objects. I'm doing both inward and outward, and say okay. And now that gives me a good line that I can do a fill on, and you got a good heavy mark for engraving. Now, let's put this back in wireframe mode. And I'm going to grab my arms, group it all, and I'm going to duplicate it, keep my original arms over there. I'm going to bring these over here for a second. And I want to look at something. I want to snap this into place. There we go. So that's now exactly where they would need to be. And I need to look at where, now this would be only if you want to do the swinging arms. I want to show you how I how I figured out where to position the pivot point. Because those arms are not symmetrical. There's nothing symmetrical about them. So what I did was I grabbed over here with my vertical guideline, snapped it right there, grab another one, snapped it right there where your first place of contact. Then I got me a slot, and the width is probably going to be around 2.8 millimeters. Doesn't really matter about the height at this point. I just need to find out the position. So I'm going to take these two, these two guidelines and group those, and then select my slot and put it in the middle of those arms from in between their two widest points. Then just bring that down here in between my arms, in the arm somewhere. Obviously, that's going to be a little tall, but you know what? That's why I brought this over here. Now I can use this to find out how much room I've got to play with for my arms. So I can see my arms right here. I'm got it all grouped. You know what? I will do this. I'm going to bring it over here, ungroup it. For this purpose, I only need this. I don't need those for right now. So let's grab that and pull it back, snap it back into place there. Then turn my nodes. Let's go ahead and get rid of those while I'm thinking about them. Go away. Bye-bye. Select my arms, grab my node my node editing tool. And now I can see where this is at. I can grab right here on that line. Just grab the line, and I can stretch it up. And this one, I can stretch it down. And all that's going to be hidden behind the head. Now, what I did when I did mine, this, whenever he starts swinging his arms, this is going to drop down, and you will see that. So I was like, okay, well, I don't want that. I don't want to see that. So I actually grabbed this and actually come right here on this line, letter I to insert another node, and then drag that node on up here. You can hit the letter L to straighten out all those stupid little curves. There you go. And by bringing that up here a little bit and do the same thing over here with this one, hit letter I for insert and drag it on up a little bit. And then the L for line. And you can curve that up. Didn't want to do that. Control Z. Let's make this all a line for right now. Actually, you know what? Hover over this one and say C for corner. And that way I can now do only that one side. I can stretch that out for if I wanted to, and I can C for corner, and I can stretch this side out a little bit like that. And then I can drag this on down. And now I got plenty of room to put my square or my slot in there. And I've already got that shape over there, so I can bring this back over here, snap it into place, and then select the one with the flat lines and get rid of it. Now that looks funky, but that'll work. How do I know? Because that's what I did. Now the arms, I've got a hole in it. You got the slot for in the body and in the head, but that's why it pivots, because I put a hole there. But you got to have your slot first so you know where your hole's going to be. So let's make that about like so, and then we can move it up a little bit. Oh, not like that. About there. And then grab a circle, an ellipse tool. Got to deselect that first. There we go. Come in the middle of it, right there. Hold shift and select and draw out a circle that's going to be big enough to encompass that. And you want a little bit of loose, a little slack in there so that they can spin freely. Put that on the cut. Put that on the cut, or in the group rather. Done. There's my head. There's my head and there's my arms. The body. Control D, duplicate that, bring it over here. And you look at it and you got to remember these are on a separate layer that are going to be swinging around back and forth. So you got to come down to here, ungroup it all. Where am I at? Over here. Let's go back over to this one. That's my original. Ungroup it all. Go into node editing. B for break, E for enter. That's the one I want to keep. That's the one why are you doing this to me? B for break. That's weird. I don't seem to recall having that issue earlier today. B for break. E for extend. That's weird. That almost don't even make sense. That shouldn't join like that. The nodes should only join each other end to end. And when you break that apart and send that one shooting across, you should have an end right there and an end right there. Those should not join in the middle like that. You got rid of your fingers. Over here. Yeah, well, that's the beauty of keeping the originals. And did I have them turned off? No, I got rid of them. By keeping the originals, it's not a big deal to go and grab that because those are grouped. Are they grouped? Everything, yeah, everything there is grouped. So I can duplicate this little fella again, bring it over here. grab a place that you know that you can intersect it with right there and right there. There you go. And then that's got to be ungrouped. Or you know what? We hadn't got that far. This will be a good chance to look at the undo history. The undo history. I have not fully embraced it yet, but here I lost my fingers and my knuckles, and I'd already done the offsets, and I'd gotten a long way with that. I don't want, so now I can either go back and copy the knuckles and redo the offsets. I don't want to do that. I haven't gotten far enough along with the body that I'm worried about losing any of that. So I'm going to use the undo history to go back and grab my knuckles. So if I come up here to edit and undo history and click on that, you can see all of these different functions, and you can scroll through right here. I don't know how many that is, a lot. In fact, that's all the way to the beginning. That's all the way back to when I imported it. I could go all the way back to that point. But if I don't say, okay, which one, where are my knuckles at? That's not it. That's not it. Scroll back up. Find my knuckles. There's where, all right, keep going. There's my knuckles. All right, there, I deleted those. So there, I'm gonna go back to right there and say, okay. And everything's back. And I could click on and see in the history where I wanted to be instead of having to go undo, 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 undo. So if you haven't seen the undo history, it's a pretty slick tool. All right, so now get rid of those, and I need to ungroup that and just get rid of the flat lines. There we go. And shrink that down a little bit and grab our ellipse tool. And now this will be a good point to show you the optimization. Let's take a look at this and see if we go into node editing. Yeah, this will be a good one. See all these nodes? All of this is not necessary. In fact, let's show you what Jack likes to do. And I'm guilty of it too. I do this as well. Let's come back over here. And first, we'll duplicate it and bring these over here and go into node editing. And what I'm very guilty of doing is if there's a whole bunch of nodes in here, well, there's not even a whole bunch there. There's an extra one there. That node does not need to be there. So I can hit D for delete. And then I can hit L for line to make that a straight line. Then I can just grab that line and just curve it up. And then I've got a nice clean arc from that node to that node. And that can just be a line. But then all these nodes, all those, they don't need to be there. In fact, that doesn't even need there. That and that is the only node that I need. So I can select all those nodes right there and hit the letter D for delete. And then up here, D for delete, and I got that straight line. Then I can just grab that and arc and bring it in here and shape it however I want. You got no nodes in there. And if you want to stretch that out, you can, or if you want to bring that back up a little tighter and you want to bring this one up here to make that a longer line and then a curve in, you can play. And you see how you got one node, one node, one node. And that is what Jack says he likes doing. And honestly, I take some pleasure in doing that too. But, and look at all those nodes. You don't need all those nodes, and look, all those to make that arc. And it's not even clean. It's not even smooth. It's herky jerky. And that's what I like about doing the nodes like that. And or I should say the lines. See how clean that is? It's just a nice, clean, smooth curve arc. Well, watch this. Let's just grab this one and grab that one and look at the nodes. You see all those nodes on all the corners and all the arcs. And that was created using LightBurn's offset tool. This wasn't part of the SVG. This was LightBurn's offset tool. So I can come over here and get rid of all these. I don't want that. Letter D. We'll just clean those up. But now, what about all these others? Well, if you go back to your selector tool, go up here to tool, see, no, edit. Optimization, optimize selected shapes. Optimize selected shapes. Click on that. When you do, it kind of looks like it's going into node editing. Now, this is a major problem. It's no longer a live screen. You can no longer zoom in and out and see what's going on. So before you click on that, you want to make sure that you're seeing as much of what you want to see, because once you do, you're locked into that view. Optimize selected shapes. Click on smooth source shapes. Turn that one on. And if you look, it tells you right now you have 58 lines, 57 curves, 115 points. That's 115 nodes to make that little bitty line that is fairly minuscule. And if you smooth selected shapes, watch these numbers drop down. And all the herky-jerky craziness will start to smooth out. Now, you say, wait a minute, you're supposed to jump down. Well, we jump way up. Yeah, because I ain't through. First, it's going to smooth. We're using that to smooth, to get rid of those herky-jerkiness. Smooth everything out. Now that you got it smooth, come down here, because these are arcs and curves. We went from 115 to 1,000. We don't want to do the lines. We got it down to 95. It's a whole lot smoother. Didn't drop, and like Jack said, it didn't clean up a whole lot of them, because we only went from 115 down to 92 and get a good smooth arc. That's the optimized shapes. And that line might not be one of the best ones, but still, we got down to 86 there. Say, okay. And it smoothed and cleaned it up. But let's look at the arms. Optimize. They're not terrible. See, that's only 96 points in that one. That's the optimize shapes button. Or optimize selected shapes tool. And you can use that to clean up a lot of the unnecessary nodes and help. If you're not real comfortable with the node editing, where you can delete the nodes yourself and just start dragging them around, or you're worried too much about really losing the overall shape using that tool, or by doing it yourself, you can use that tool to, till you get really comfortable with it. Question, comment. Wouldn't it be easier to do a zero offset outer shape only to create the back layer? We're not. You don't want the whole thing. You don't want the whole thing. If you wanted the whole back, yes, but so I don't have the entire back. And when he's swinging his arms, if you did a 0 offset, that's the way, that's what you're looking at right now. Let's turn J off here. That's what you're seeing right now. And if you did a 0 offset, then the backboard would have this same outer edge right here. So if you do the swinging arms and he swings way over here, then you're going to see your backboard. So if you're doing the swinging arms, you want it to only be where the shoulders would be. Otherwise, the illusion of the swinging arms don't work. But if you wanted to do a simple layered piece without the swinging arms, absolutely a 0 offset will work. And watch this. Because we had just started to get there whenever Ed was kind enough to let's see here. You're more than welcome, most welcome. That's what we're here for. And but no, you are correct in what you were saying. If you were going to do a stationary multi-layer piece, and we're going to do what you said, because it's the easiest way to even create the piece that we need. So let's grab one of them, pull that over here out the way. We'll get rid of that one. And let's start again with our Go-Go Gorilla. All right. We're going to ungroup it all. What do we get when we get here? Does that go up? Yes, that goes all the way around the perimeter. In fact, do we need to do a 0 offset? Let's just grab that and pull it over here. Nope, there it is. There's your 0 offset. That is the entire thing. But we don't need all of that. But we do kind of need that to see where we need it to be. So let's come back over here. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to duplicate that, Control D, duplicate it, and I'm going to put the duplicate on a toolpath. Actually, no, I'll put it on one that's really easy for everybody to see. We'll do it on an 07, so it shows up really good on the screen. But that's a toolpath, okay? But I did it in bright pink, so it shows up good. Now, right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off that one, so it's not there. Select that, and I'm going to go to node editing, and I'm going to take the top of his head off. Select all those nodes right there, because actually I need to come all the way down to right about there, and I'm going to hit the letter D for delete. That just got rid of all of them. And then I can come over here and D for delete. And that got rid of there. So there's where his hip comes up. And now if I turn this one back on, you'll see where his arms are at. There you go. So now I know where his arm profile's at. And I've got that all deleted. So now I can just come over here and grab that red line, stretch it up to where I want it to be. And let's come right about here and put a node I for insert. There you go. And now I can take my handles and start curving the handles. Oh, didn't get it. All right. C. By hovering over that, or by, right there and hitting C, that makes that a corner. And now I can move one side of that node without it affecting the other side of the node. And so that easy and that simple. Now I've got a backboard piece that the arms are going to be able to fully swing. And if I wanted to, I could bring it up to about like right about there. And let's grab that one and bring it up kind of similar. Don't need it past his hairline. But I was kind of getting it as close to his shoulder height up here as possible. That'll work. But now I don't need that pink anymore. And I've got that. But you've seen how I created the other body lines and the body art and all that. Go back to there. I would want to keep that with and I don't want to, we're not going to bother redoing all these lines because you've seen how I did the knuckles up here. It's the same thing on doing these knuckles on his back feet and the body art, the pecs, the gorilla pecs. Let's grab all of those and all of those. And it didn't grab them. Yeah, it did. And then I can just hold control and click on offset. And it's going to do the exact same thing I did to the other ones. By holding control and clicking offset, it will repeat the exact same thing I just did and give me that. Those can be engraved. Those up here for the facials, facial features. Let's grab all of that. Well, what's the matter there? Let's ungroup it. Let's grab it all first, then hold shift and deselect the eyes, or no, hold control, I mean, deselect the eyes. There we go. So now I've only got the blue layer. I got that little piece up there, but you know what? I'm going to leave it up there. Hold control and click offset. Done. And alt shift W. There you go. And put that in fill. There you go. So now you got some decent facial features, some hair, some body lines, some pecs. But I've got all that over here too. And like I said, this is something that I did today in just a couple of hours. This is the first and only working prototype. I haven't got it on the website right now, but I'm going to put this on there as a freebie. Just a freebie. Anybody and everybody that is watching this right now will know that they can go over to hobowithwood.com and download this little file. I will include the little kickstand, but you want to be careful because I wasn't. I was trying to rush and get ready for the live stream, and I glued this too low, and it works. It'll hold it up there, but his knuckles are hitting the ground. I don't know. I don't know. You might not even want it with the kickstand. I don't know. If you raise this, the knuckles are going to be hitting the ground even sooner. If you lower it, I think really it's just because the knuckles are in fact lower than his feet. Because the kickstand was something I did just for show and sell tonight, show and tell. So I'm gonna leave the kickstand off because it doesn't work. in order for that to work, the knuckles would need to be higher. In order for the knuckles to be higher, I would need to raise the slot. And if I raise the slot, that'll bring everything up. Actually, that'll work. Let's do that real quick. It doesn't need to go up, but maybe we'll go we'll go up 5 millimeters. We'll take it up 5 millimeters. So if that's the case, I should be able to select just the slot. Let's get my move tab set to 5 mil. Say okay, and move that up 5 mil. Move that up 5 mil. And have I got 5 mil for this? Not really, but you know what? All I got to do is curve my arms. Go into node editing. And let's curve that up. And that shouldn't be a problem. Now, that should lift the arms up so that they're not on the ground. But now I think about it. Now the problem, Sharon, is, and that is Sharon, ain't it? Quilter 5392, is that Sharon? Pretty sure that's you. The problem is, the gorillas, they stand and their knuckles are on the ground. And if you look, the knuckles are the lowest point on that front, on that line there. And by me doing what I just did, I lifted the head and the arms up 5 millimeters so that then they could sit on that kickstand and the arms not be, touching the ground. If I shorten the kickstand, the contact point of that front, whenever it makes contact, it's going to be on the knuckles, period, without lifting the head and the arms. But that was an easy fix. Just lift them up. Leave the arms where they are. I can put them back because that looks right. I mean, they need to be down there and low because that's more anatomically correct. And it's not supposed to have a kickstand on anyway. It's supposed to be hanging. Yeah. Let's do it. Let's put that back. Down 5, down 5, and down 5. And now I don't need you quite as high as you are. Now, the one thing I didn't talk to you about is the pivot. Just make the head swing. You could do that. You can make him rotate his head, make him spin his head. That's the way I feel sometimes. Voice is going. We're at 90 minutes, so that's about right. About the pivot point. Let's take a look at this and we're going to wrap this up. I'm going to grab this original size because this and this was all derived from this little guy, but I scaled it up. So this one, I'm going to say Control D, duplicate it, bring it over here, and then I'm going to put it on a toolpath, turn that toolpath on. There we go. And then what do I need? I don't think I need any of this. Let's ungroup it all. Yeah. All right. Now I'm going to grab this. I'm going to group it. I'm going to drag this into place. Now, that piece serves no other purpose except for a backboard to glue the head to. And that was achieved by just doing these, like, who was it that said it? Jay, was it Jay said it earlier about the zero offset? You're just taking the very outer perimeter and duplicating the outer perimeter. And then the head here gets glued to that. But that was needed just so I'd have that slot to be able to place the head on. Otherwise, you see the slot on the head. We don't want to do that. So that gives me a position there. That's lined up. Now that slot's there. Let's grab the lower torso. Let's grab you and get you out the way. Did I get it all? Yep. Go away. I don't know if this is grouped or not. We're going to grab it and group it, and it's not. And then we're going to grab this from a known point that we can snap to. And if you notice, I'm down here at the bottom, so I can't see what's going on up top, and that's on purpose. I wanted to make sure it's lined up where it needs to be, and that looks right. And then I can come up here and look. Looky there. Those are exactly where they need to be. They're lined up one on top of the other. And then I can grab my knuckles. Let's make sure all this is grouped. Bring it up here. Snap it in place. Come on, baby. What's going on? Oh, well. Control Z, undo. There we go. Snap. Then I can look and see that one's not quite, the circle's not quite where it needs to be. So let's, all right, right now, okay, here. We got a whole bunch of stuff in those arms that are grouped together. You've got the knuckles and the fur line and all that stuff. And as soon as I hit when I hit ungroup, we're going to have all those free. But to make sure you don't lose any part of the group, you do this. I need to get that circle off there. And I don't want to lose any of the other grouping. So what I'm going to do, everything's grouped right now. I'm going to ungroup it. But everything is still selected. Hold control and deselect that circle and then group it right back. Now, if I move that out of the way, there, I've still got everything minus the circle. And I don't want that circle. We're going to get rid of it. But I wanted to pull that off so you can see everything's there. So now, put that back in spot, back where it wants to be. Snap it in place. Oh, that's offset. But that may be what's going to have to work. There. Then I can grab my ellipse tool, come back to the center right there, hold shift and control and draw out from the center. Make it a little bit bigger. Put it on the cut path. Then hold control and select the arms and group it. Now, those are all grouped together. The slots where it needs to be, the holes where it needs to be. Arms are good. I can select one of those rectangles. There's my back. Select the other rectangle. And there's my head. I don't need none of that. Now, on the actual, and this is from yesterday, but I need something. The length of this pivot point is largely dependent on the thickness of your material. That gap between the back and the first layer of the head there, you need to have slop in there so you've got room for these to pivot. And this simple little piece right here is the whole magic. That is the piece that sits into that backboard, and then the arms will slip onto it, then the head will get glued onto it, and you want to have enough room in there for your arms to be able to swing. So right now I've got this at 10 millimeters high, because that's how tall the rectangles are, but it's 12.1 millimeters wide because my material was, I think, 2.8. So I was 2.8 times 2's what, 5, 6 for the body and the head. And then I went an extra, I think, well, whatever the difference between 5, 6 and that is how much room I left for the arms to be able to swing. So if you're still watching this and you download this free file, this may be the only piece that you need to adjust. And that's going to be dependent on the material thickness you use. And leave, you know, there's a lot of play there. A lot of play. You can see, well, I got too much glue that's in my way. I did this in a hurry and used CA glue instead of my wood glue, and I got glue everywhere. But well, you can see how wide that gap is. You can see the space in there. There you go. I almost did about half the thickness. Well, I should say twice the thickness. So you got half the thickness in the space in the front, half of the thickness and material space in the rear. So, but you can't see that from the front. You don't realize there's that much space in there. So don't go super tight with it. Leave some void in there, but you're going to need to adjust the length of that piece depending on your thickness. Now, some of the people who aren't watching this far, they're going to put it together. It don't work. It don't work. Yeah, because you didn't watch the video. You didn't watch it all. A bobblehead gorilla. Make a dog with the head swinging like they are questioning you. Like that. Huh? 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 Make the head swing and the arm swing. Yep. All right. And that right there is what I love to see. PJ, I'm glad that you have learned seven different things here tonight. That's really why we're here. It's not about coming to get the free files. Obviously I don't care about it. I'm going to give it to everybody. I want you guys to be able to see these SVGs, see the images, and be able to have the knowledge and the ability to do this yourself. I like that idea of the bobblehead, and the dog's like, huh? What? And that would be an interesting puzzle to figure out how to make it pivot on the lower part, so the chin's kind of almost staying still, it's just giving you a tilt. That could be, that actually would be, that'd be, it wouldn't, I don't think it'd be that difficult. You'd want to limit the travel with, you might could do it with something as simple as, oh, oh, I didn't mean to do that. You okay?
Yeah, I was taking that bottle down there. Just if you remember tomorrow, pick it up. Give me some medicine. Need sometime tomorrow. Be your medicine.
Okay. Do 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 do. And then let's do a I don't think it matters. We grouped or ungrouped. Let's do circular array. We'll bring these around here. I'm looking for a certain range right about, well, let's go back about there. Say okay. Do not group them. Say okay. Get rid of that one. Get rid of those. Use the scissor tool. They're grouped, so you can't cut them. Ungroup it. Scissor tool. And cut. Come on, baby. Cut. 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 And cut. If you had a slot like that, then, or something similar to that, then you could have the dog's head where it would bobble and slide that way and then slide back that way. That something like that might would work. A pendulum behind the back. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. Yeah. Well, Richard, thank you for coming and hanging out with us. Because it's not about me. It's about you and all of y'all. Uh, I enjoy sharing and teaching. And if y'all wasn't here to learn, then there wouldn't be no point in me doing it. So it's about y'all more than it is about me. But yeah, I like that idea, Jay. A pendulum. Yeah, that'd be a whole. See, there's always another way. Always another way. But the pendulum. In fact, you might even incorporate both those. Use the pendulum to help create the weight to get it to where it wants to shift one way or the other, but then use something like that as a track to make sure it only moves a certain distance. So yeah, I like that. But I like all those ideas. I like the idea of the dog going, huh? No. We ain't going that far with it. All right, so let's see here. In fact, let's do this. Tell you what. Oh boy. Let's get rid of all of that nonsense. And oh, you know what? We're gonna play a little bit. I'm gonna get all this done now while we're doing it, or else it won't get done. So I'm gonna make sure I got all this. This is all grouped. Yep. And grouped. Grouped. Group it. Group it. Okay. And group it. Okay. Let's do a 300 by 300. And let's see if I can remember how to do this. I think it all has to be over here on the work table. I think I may be wrong, but I'm gonna get it over here anyway. And we're going to select every bit of that. Hold shift and select our 300 by 300. And we're going to quick nest it. Donk. There you go. And let's put that on a toolpath. And this guy we'll bring over here just so it's there. All right. Now, file, save as, desktop, e-commerce, new folder. Oh, go back here. Where you at? I went ahead of myself. New folder, rename, properties. Go Gorilla. And we're going to save it. And then we're going to export it because there's so many of the boys and girls that use my files that actually use, and I don't know if any of you have ever or are aware of this, but like here, I'm going to I'm going to export it out as SVGs. If you have a scroll saw and you like scroll saw work, you can print this out as an SVG and have a pattern that you can then take over to your scroll saw. So, and I haven't been told by a lot of people the DXFs and the scroll and the SVGs and stuff like that, they'll use them for other means other than laser engraving. So go Gorilla. And let's copy that so I don't have to keep taping it or typing it. Copy and export it as SVG. Save, file, export, paste, DXF, file, export, AI. Okie dokie. Now let's see. Is any of you guys hollering at me about anything? Bubblehead got that. Ooh, I like how those are grayed out now. Yeah, Penman got that. Okay. All right. Now, I've got those exported. Now I need to zip them. And then let's see here. No, yeah, here we go. I'm gonna grab you. I'm gonna take you off the screen so y'all can't see this. You don't need to be seeing me logging in. And media. So now you get to see all the extra work that goes into getting this out there for you guys and gals to see. So media, upload, new media, select files. We're going to bring in the artwork. Open. And if any of you boys or girls are new, you'll notice that anything you see on my website on Hobo with Wood, it's not a drawing. It's not an SVG of what it would look like. I actually have photographs of actual finished pieces. Every one of my files are tested before I ever put them online. Now, let's put up the actual file. Let's see here. Desktop, e-commerce, go, zip, and open. And then products, add new product. Free gorilla file with swinging arms. Add media. Close you up and insert into product. Do. Free to all. Enjoy. Enjoy. And then come down here. We got to be a virtual download. Sell price is 0. Oh, got to put in a regular price. 0. Add file. And this will be digital files. Publish. Hobo with Wood. Digital files. There it is. So it's online now. Boys and girls can go and download that till you're blue in the face, and or take the time and learn how to do these. I'd love it. I would really love it. In fact, I'm challenging you. Not them. You. Mm-hmm. I want you to take it upon yourself this week. Take what we learned tonight and create something similar. Maybe it's a dog that the very back layer is a tail that will wag from one. You see it and you don't. You see it and you don't because it's wagging behind it. Something as simple as that. Just a simple little dog tail that moves. It's easy to do. You can do it. You could even make, don't buy it off more than you can chew the first time. Take that one simple SVG of a dog that's got a tail on it, cut its tail off, and made it on a separate layer. That's a 2-layer piece to have that tail wagging back and forth. 2-layer, I have to do 3 layers to make it wag, but you can do it. And then go on to the Facebook group, Hobo with Wood Facebook group, and post your images of what you created using what you've learned tonight. That'd be cool. Show me what you can do. You can do it. All right. Yes. yes, there is. So that's why. Plus, I knew, as tired as I am, and as much as I got to do, and I need to go run some errands for Dad just as soon as I get off here. If I didn't do it right now, there's a good chance it'd have been tomorrow or late tomorrow, or so. I just did it. It's done, and we're out of here in 2 hours. Yeah, and like Terry says, thank you, Terry. I do not do enough to self-promote and ask for your support. But a long time ago, many moons ago, one of my managers told me, you'll never get it if you don't ask for it. So I'm asking, if you are not a member on hobowithwood.com and you've been here for the last 90 minutes or 2 hours, if you've been here for the whole time and you're not a member and you've found this is beneficial, you like this, please consider going over there and becoming a member. Gold, silver, or bronze. If you go with the bronze, you get 60% off. Silver is 80% off, and gold is 100% off on all of the digital files. And if you go gold, you're going to get a free ebook that I just wrote and published. And I promise you, the book is an emotional roller coaster for me, and it will definitely tickle your funny bone in places. In some places, it'll make you blush. Some places, it'll make you really, really sad. But it is not a sad book. My aunt read it, and she told me she said, I just feel so sorry for you. I said, why? So what do you feel sorry about? She said, well, I'm just sad. I said, there's nothing to be sad about. It's not a sad book. There are some sad moments. I said, but if you're not getting, by the time you get to the end of it, if you're not grasping the fact that I am happy with who I am, even in this book, with everything that's taken me to get to there, by the end of that last chapter, I've come to some really deep. Well, the last chapter of the book was called Revelation. That was the last chapter, Revelation. But I ended up going back and adding a last chapter to it, because this book actually here does end in Revelation. And I thought that, there was a lot of reason that was the last chapter, a lot of reasons for it. But the latest version, the last chapter, is called Tomorrow. There are revelations, and then there is a revelation, and then there's the promise of tomorrow. But it's not. If you go away from it feeling sad for me, then you didn't get the whole book, because there's nothing to be sad about at all. But anyway, I digress. hobowithwood.com. Go over, become a member. If you go gold, you're going to get the free book too. Plus, you're going to get all of the digital files on the website for free. It's a no-brainer. So like, share, and subscribe, and I will get some more videos up. I've got to go record Monday and Tuesday. I will be back in here Wednesday, Thursday. I'll have some stuff going on in the shop. I'll figure some stuff out. We'll get some videos up. I've got to get this. Got to get this going. Got to get it going. So God bless each and every one of you. Please be safe this weekend. Stay warm, stay hydrated, stay cool, stay hydrated. Don't get too warm. And we'll see you in the next video or in the next stream. And Lyle, if you catch this on the rebound and I didn't get you here tonight, if you're still having problems, hit me up and we'll see if we can get you going again. Thanks, boys and girls.